Okay, Kate, you sure we've got all the very, very latest updates and news from the Giro?
We have, yeah. I'm just checking out the Eight Nations Cup.
Yeah, good.
We're currently coming third.
Third in that, that's great.
Equal third.
On the podium?
We're currently on the podium. We've got a strong lineup.
We've got a cleat on the podium. We have a cleat on the podium, okay?
Yes.
Just want to check that you've got all the latest news and information and data ready to go, because this is the Wheelhouse Cycling Podcast, and this is not where you come for any of that. You can go anywhere else, but we are going to look at things.
But I've got it already, Joel.
Of course you do, because you're you, and you always have everything already. But we're going to look at some of the different incidents, occurrences, situations, and circumstances coming out of Italy, because you know what? Merxie's built us the theme music. Let's give it a quick listen. I can get behind that. So I'm going to say, buongiorno, and welcome to episode 95 of the Wheelhouse Podcast.
We are belting toward episode 100, much like Pogacar is belting after just a few stages toward the win.
No one saw it coming. No one.
Well, sadly, everybody saw it coming, but we hoped that it might take more than a couple of stages for him to be in the pink.
You never know what. You never know.
Well, I've got my sparkly pink top on.
Yes.
I also have my tuxedo Wheelhouse jersey hanging up behind me.
Good.
It's big times.
I like
We've had the finish of the women's Vuelta. We've had the start of the men's Giro.
Yep.
Like, there's a lot to be formal about.
We're representing a lot of Giro in that new Wheelhouse kit too. There's a few colours that I think are good.
It is not track pant kind of podcast time.
Oh, it's not?
No. We need to be far more formal.
We do.
About the wondrous things going on.
Yeah. And on that note, I noticed the Parramatta jersey that I put on the bottom of the pile has somehow made its way to the top of the pile.
It has. I've got some wonderful things on hand, including the Hot Mess map. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
I'm going to talk about
Everybody's got a copy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I literally printed a copy of it for everyone.
A lot of Giro to talk about, women's Vuelta to talk about, a quirky Kate story to talk about as well. Really looking forward to that. And also some of the phrasing that you're hearing out of the Giro. We're gonna have a bit of a play with that, because we are, so multilingual on this show. We're going to help.
It's been really nice interviewing so far.
Tadej. Once again, Tadej did it yesterday, did it Tadej, probably will do it tomorrow as well. Pogacar leading Giro early, attacking from ridiculous distances. Even people following the race are starting to say, what do you do that for? What are you doing?
Yeah. Well, look, stage one was pretty funny because Johnathan Narvaez, and I nearly picked him in our Eight Nations Cup, but I didn't. But I was still pleased to see him win. But even he sort of said, it's not that I beat him and I won. He stuffed it up. He went too long.
So this
I
is
thought
the sport.
That was kind of funny.
Is that a point now where you celebrate your win by saying, thank God he blew it?
A little bit.
It's very Stephen Bradbury, isn't it?
He got the first Maglia Rossa of the 2024 Giro, an enormous achievement for the Colombians. So,
I love it.
You can't help that Tadej stuffed it up.
Usually a victor will start by thank you to our opponent, but they don't often turn that into like a congratulations. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have won it. So
I know, but it was
like
great.
That. Okay. How exciting was it for Pog to take this jersey so early in his first appearance and to grab all the glory, the prestige, the acclaim, years, decades of history? How did he feel about it?
I'm glad you asked that question, Joel.
Yes.
In all my paperwork, let me read you a little excerpt from an interview, shall I?
Please.
Interviewer. So, how's the taste of this first Giro win? Is it better than the pasta you like so much? Tadej. No. Pasta is way better. Sorry. I could live without the Giro win, but I could not live without the pasta. Sorry.
Well, look, okay.
How's that?
So, functionally, nutritionally, probably could survive without pasta, but
there's a lot of alternatives,
There are other things you can eat.
I mean, Merckx, he's a celiac. He doesn't eat a lot of pasta and he's just fine.
What does that say about... He doesn't eat a lot of pasta because, I've made the mistake of saying, here's some pasta. So, no. What does that say about, Pog's, I guess, being there? It's all about him. When he downplays it and says, I don't really Not that he doesn't care, because he's still doing what he's doing, but it sort of downplays the significance a bit.
Yeah, I think he's a bit cheeky. And I think his cheekiness borders on a little bit of irreverence, to be honest.
Yep.
And if he keeps making the kind of joking comments and cheekiness all the time, people will get to a point where it runs out a bit, because they also want to hear him say this is the most enormous honour.
You don't want to become a Nick
Especially
Kyrgios.
in Italy. The Italians want you to think that life would not exist without this race.
Yeah.
But it's funny.
And many would say that they are justified in thinking that, because it's a fabulous GT. And we've had discussions on this very program about why. Why is it so far below TDF in that pecking order?
Interesting, because stage 1 and stage 2 ended up being quite GC stages in the end. Go to stage 3, a little bit of a different story, and had people very quickly saying, this is why it isn't the Tour de France. And that's
You're talking about the sprinters stage that was...
Right.
Yeah.
So sprinters stage, you know, if you want to call it that, it's not that they're entitled to get a bunch of sprinters, it's just that it's flatter terrain.
Yeah.
But social media had a bit of a meltdown. A few people who weren't as engaged in the coverage as they could have been. I took the liberty of writing it down. Ali Tetrick, our wonderful friend
Shout out,
over at We Do, she said, I just tried to fast forward the bike race. Fun fact, it's live.
Oh, you can't do that in real time.
And you can't do that. Somebody said the best bike riders in the world are slower than a group of amateurs.
Debatable, but yeah, sure.
Ballerini, who had been in a break on his own, sat up hoping the bunch would catch him. It took them a long time. Somebody said Ballerini is the hero of all the amateur cyclists, out of shape. He's only going 25k an hour on the flat. And then there was even the sprinters aboard. Right. But that made me laugh, because it is interesting. People are using this to say,
this is why.
At the Tour this would never happen. Firstly, bollocks.
That's rubbish.
It's rubbish.
Yeah.
But secondly, when you make the course so hard that the first couple of stages have people losing literally 15 minutes a stage.
Yeah.
They want a bloody rest.
They want a rest.
They want an easy day.
And the old marathon, not sprint saying comes to mind as well.
Exactly.
Of course it does.
So I just think that, you know, grass is always greener.
Yeah.
Tour lovers will defend it. Giro lovers will defend it.
Yeah.
You know, depending on how they see it.
You're a literal champion of the sport. And I mean that in your own career, but also in advocacy for the sport. Honest opinion, quality of Giro thus far.
Oh, it's been magnificent.
You've loved it?
Loved it.
Has it been magnificent?
It has been magnificent.
Okay.
That's a good word.
But even that stage, you're like, you can see what's going on, why it's going on.
I mean, it's still a good sprint at the end.
It was a
Podgy
good
gave it a
sprint.
bit of a nudge with a couple of K to go. Garrett Thomas went with him. There was lots of animation.
Yeah.
I think what we're really talking about is if you watch a Grand Tour, every kilometre that is covered from kilometre 0, not every kilometre is going to be quite as thrilling as the rest.
They're not enthralling.
But that's every race.
Yeah.
So, you know, watch the highlights if you get bored easily.
Oh, mate. Every ball in an Ashes series is not thrilling content.
Think of the commentators on those days.
I do, after
There's
doing
easier
esports
and there's
with
tougher
you.
days. Exactly.
Imagine doing this for
That was
many
5
hours.
hours we talked for, yes.
Oh, it was lovely. It was great.
It was.
It was highly engaging and entertaining throughout. I defy anyone to say otherwise. I just think it's a Giro pylon. It's the stage is set for something really special, and people it's just this like, here's a chance to put the boot in. So I think we should track this across the rest of the race. How often does social media go into negative overdrive based on something that could happen anywhere else in the world, but is happening there?
Just to pick up on the negative overdrive.
Yeah.
One of the things that happened with Pogacar, he finished stage 2, he won. He changed bikes at the bottom. He got a flat, had a little bit of a slip and fall, changed bikes. Didn't have his bike computer on, so didn't take it off one bike and put it on the other. Won the stage without a computer. Whoa.
And people were impressed.
So impressed. People were like, I can't believe he won without a computer.
I don't have my computer here right now. I'm absolutely floundering.
I have
my
laptop, but the last time I checked, a bicycle computer didn't have legs to power the bike.
No. I don't think it has the notes for the show, but you know who's going to have thoughts on this, our tech wizard, Merksy, who we just heard
in the background.
How is he supposed to pace himself to his perfect watts per kilo output up that climb? He could blow.
Kate.
Well, he could, and wouldn't that be exciting?
Hang on, blow what?
A foo-foo valve. He could burn all his matches.
He could blow his foo-foo valve. But you've got to know your body.
Haven't you ridden enough kilometres to have some indication of if your ticker's going to blow up or whatever?
I think maybe that makes me old school. Merksy, you're of the view that makes me a little bit antiquated.
Yeah, a little bit. Have you ever driven on the highway with no speedometer? Like, you could just guess the speed, but you can guess your fuel, how much fuel you got left.
Yeah, look, when you put it like that, I get it, But
a car is dependent on fuel, and speed limits are dependent on people not getting fined.
In fairness, Pogacar's also dependent on fuel.
Yeah, but like if you're hungry, you need fuel.
If you're hungry, eat, right?
I don't think that's a comparison, because a car, if it doesn't have fuel, it stops. You need a fuel gauge. If you're hungry and you need to eat, your body's like, I'm not going to continue serving you.
Well,
in this race.
Merksy had a great point that's like the modern approach to it.
Yeah.
You know, they put all of this data in, they know so much about it, so they know what they can climb at, and they aim to therefore sit at a power. But my point is, firstly, you should know your body better than that. Secondly, sometimes you pull out ripper performances when your numbers don't match. My third...
Yeah, I got a question. Sorry, third point.
You're right.
Would racing be better without power meters?
There's a question.
I think it might be different. Yeah, I think that it would probably be good. We used to put the power meters under our saddles.
So you didn't know until...
So you didn't know. So you're still collecting the data, but you don't know. But I also think my point 3, Merksy, on that was, if you're not feeling amazing and you're looking at your power sitting much lower than what you think you should be feeling at that, it can also psych you out, which, like, why? But I'm just going to keep going with my list here, because I also think, what about the day that you break all your records? But according to your computer and the data, you shouldn't be able to do that, so you actually temper yourself up the climb slower than you could potentially go. Like, I don't know.
Are you suggesting data is limiting the potential of our best?
No, I just don't think it's a massive deal. I don't think it adds to the gravitas of his win he did it without a computer. I really
Senator
don't.
Merksy, your response?
Well, I just think, and what I know, but it's a race of attrition. So every watt counts, and over that many days, you don't want to be burning too many matches early. Just what I think.
Yeah,
but I've never won a goddamn Grand Tour. So.
But,
and in fairness, neither have I. I was a rubbish tour rider. Like, rubbish. I was great for day 1, day 2, day 3. I was done. So maybe I could learn from this.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't even know what a Grand Tour was before meeting you guys, so it's all good. But I like both sides of that, and it does go back what Merksy said, going back to what we were talking about, marathon, not sprint. So if you're looking in that way, but the fact, you know what, doesn't matter. Pog, computer, no, you could strap. I'm looking for the word strap. You could strap one of those old school NASA computers to his bike that weighs like 200 kilos, and
he'd still win.
Yeah, so it doesn't even matter. I just want to focus just quickly on the whole bloody Pog, stop attacking. It's got to the point where it's been described as unnecessary, which I just find. I love a dominant champion. So
we're not a week in. Unnecessary. I think this is going to be a very hilarious Giro for what the journos have to say and the stories that people come up with when they're sick of writing about Pogacar.
Yeah.
What else can we say? We're already so early in. And I've experienced this to a degree when you're at the Tour de France, for example, and you're on the ground and you're interviewing the same riders each day. And especially if they're dominating, you're trying to come up with new ways to talk to them and get reactions. And, perhaps that's why Pogacar got asked about the pasta, because you've kind of got to come up with something unique.
Yeah.
I think it just falls into that category.
Yeah, by the end of it, they're like, but remember back in week 1 how I asked you about this?
Exactly.
Yeah. It's interesting, though. Like, they could always just go to Ben O'Connor, because he's up there. He's top 10. He's killing it. We love him. On that, we're going to give you an exclusive update to our Aussie Cup prospects as well, because we are doing very bloody well, let me tell you.
I've, in fact, got in my hand what is called a Mega Monster scrapbook. This is my Giro diary. And so I've written an Aussie Cup list. Now, interestingly, in the sprint, Caden Groves and Caleb Ewan on the sprint stage, we expected them to be tussling for the podium. A little bit off the mark. So 12th and 13th.
Yeah.
I think it would have been a pretty tough start to the tour for them.
And Caden went in this year with a bit more noise. There was a lot more out for this guy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But, you know, they are still really hanging in there and warming into it. So we'll keep an eye on
Marathon,
them.
not a sprint.
If we talk about the GC and we really nail down on the Aussie Cup.
Yes.
Joel.
Love to.
Galuzzi O'Connor.
Thank you.
Sparkle in the eye.
He's a guy you could talk to every day.
But Michael Storer from Tudor Pro Cycling. Amazing. Incredible.
Never a borer.
He's sitting in 12th overall, but he's only just shy of Ben O'Connor, who's in 10th.
Yep.
And he's been given this opportunity by Tudor Pro Cycling, who it's they're on debut here at the Giro. And he's running top 10 in already mountain stages or smaller mountain stages, but really aggressively fought GC stages.
Yep.
So I think we should be pretty excited, actually.
Can you do it over a few weeks?
Well, I mean, who knows? But every rider has the first time breakout performance.
Yeah.
So
fantastic.
Keep the highlighter on there. So there's my little Aussie Cup update for the Giro so far.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Glutzy, Storer.
Yep.
We're all over
quick,
you.
touch the jersey. Touch the jersey for good luck.
Yep.
There we go.
There we go.
That's fantastic. Really, really good. Now, while we're just talking about Pog really quickly, I do want to say that did a ride around West End in Brisbane on my bike this morning.
Oh,
and
yes,
absolutely loved
excellent.
it. And thought, you know what, why not pirouette into mentioning that those Colnagos, those beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Colnagos, are on sale.
They are big time on sale. So full bikes are up to like $8,000 off. Which...
What, so they only cost $95,000? No, I'm kidding.
No, so they're down toward the $13,000-$14,000 mark from the
That's huge.
20s.
Yeah.
It is. It's a pretty big opportunity to get your hands on one of these amazing pieces of equip.
Wheelhouse code.
Yes.
Is that applied on top of existing discount? You'll have to ask and find out, because Kate and I, we don't work at the shop. But
get on it.
Even
get
if
onto
it
the
doesn't,
website. They're beautiful, beautiful bikes.
very significant
Podgy's
discount. Yep.
already put a little dash of pink on his frame as he wears the Maglia Rossa.
Okay. Now, we love it when the parents of athletes get behind their kids. And I will, of course, mention Father Michael, Mother Dawn of House Tarling, and their beautiful work getting behind little Joshy.
Exemplary.
What do you call it? Public parenting.
Public parenting, yes.
There you go. Sometimes it takes different turns. And I'd love to get your gauge on this, because...
I know where you're going, and not just because I wrote the rundown, but because this is very funny.
It's funny stuff. Thyman Rentzman,
yes.
Dad, basically like, yeah, I love my boy. I'm proud of him. He's such a good athlete. He'd be even better if he had a team around him that knew what they were doing. It was the classic Formula One style interview where it's like, yeah, I sucked, but it was everyone else's fault.
Well, in fairness, Rentzman didn't say it himself, but his dad jumped on Twitter, quite heavily criticised the trainers, the coaches at Ineos, and said, you know, he would be having much better results if only they took more care and knew how to train my boy. Awkward
when you go to team dinner that night.
Well, I don't know. I mean, over on GCN, they discussed it and said, geez, that could be a little bit rough for him.
Yeah.
Geraint Thomas was asked directly about it. He pretty much said, whatever. I'm glad my dad's not on Twitter. So, woo. Which I think petition to get Papa Thomas.
I was going to say,
on Twitter.
If what Geraint says is even a hint of what we'd get out of Papa Thomas, make it happen.
But it is quite funny. Like, I don't think it would matter. Like, it's not his opinion.
Do you reckon he would have texted Dad, though, and just said, Dad, that was meant for our private thread and you've put it on the public one?
I reckon
Do we need
it
to
would
have
be
an
like
X lesson? Yeah.
Hofodoma. That is what he would say to his dad.
Hofodoma. Okay. Yeah. I love it. It's an interesting thing. But let's go again, your perspective. Obviously, career, we weren't as prolific on the socials and whatnot, but parental
Probably
support.
a good thing, to be honest.
Yeah.
My dad, Robbie, he was a man of very few words.
Yep.
He would not have said anything. He very much kept to himself and his opinions on anything related to that. Jude, on the other hand, I think it's probably good that Jude did not know Twitter, X, whatever we want to call it, back in the day. She is on social media now.
Yeah.
I think she's got some fairly strong opinions, and
Well,
if
she
she was
follows
up, if
the
she was up
Wheelhouse.
late watching,
Yeah.
I just don't know what could happen.
Well, you've just opened a massive can of worms. Hello to you,
Don't
Jude.
do it, Jude.
Do it, Jude.
Don't do it, Jude.
Let us know what you think of the show. I think that's what Kate's asking for here. Full honesty, no filter.
Merksy, could you somehow block Jude?
Block Jude.
Yeah, after I mentioned her knickers on the show.
That's
Speaking
right.
of daddy and daughter, here's my daughter, Millie Moo. She's in here helping me today.
Welcome,
so
Millie.
Oh,
if
hello,
the
Millie.
show's looking good, that's why.
Hey, Mill, what would you think if Dad piped in on social media about something you cared about? Would you be mortified?
It depends what he says about it.
It'd be good and funny and classy.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So as long as it's consistent with everything else Merksy does, classy, quality,
Yep.
consistent, Millie'd be
Well,
happy.
look,
She
when
thinks I'm hilarious and witty.
Yes.
She's not alone, to be fair.
When I drop the kids at school and I try and give them a cuddle, they're like, "Oh, Mum, stop it! You're embarrassing me."
Yeah.
And so I feel like Simon may have a little bit of embarrassment from Dad.
What are
But
Dad's
whatevs.
credentials? Like, is he a former
He's a father, Joel.
Bike
He
Nostradamus?
is a father.
Okay.
I think we could set in motion
Yeah.
a mentoring program at Ineos with Father Michael and Mother Dawn in
I love
charge. They could get all the parents in the room
Yep.
and say, guys, this is how we do social media.
Yep.
We support. We lift up.
We get behind
We
them.
do not criticise.
But at the same time, teams, criticism comes from everywhere. They're going to have a lot of water off the old duck's back with that sort of stuff, a bit of
entertaining
resilience.
for us.
When it's a teammate's parent saying you guys are shit, it's a bit different. But anyway,
Remember, it was Remco telling his dad to shush up.
Yeah,
with,
absolutely.
Lefebvre said, Dad, enough. Enough.
Dad.
Yeah.
have to work with
Come on,
these
Dad. I'm the world champion, mate.
yeah. And I love the Wheelhouse. He said that as well.
See, mums are not the embarrassing ones, just saying.
I love it. It's not you, it's the team.
It's the
That's
team.
fantastic. Now, Belinda McLoed, let's give a shout out. A very, very lovely one on the Wheelhouse podcast, episode 95, all about the love. And we love our couch peloton. Kate, a lot of things you're excited about. I think the hot mess map that ahead of today's record, just a little peek behind the curtain here, you were veritably bouncing on your heels.
I printed them on very high quality paper
Good paper.
for everyone.
Is this did you use this quality for our flyer? Latest
Absolutely
flyer,
not.
Yeah.
I did not. No, but this is a special one, not just because the hot mess map is absolutely glorious. Well done, Belinda. But because this one is dedicated to Tua Gran, and that is the mother of Daniel Wellington. Now, Tua Gran was a hugely supportive part of the Couch Peloton. Got a lot of joy and comfort out of being part of that, interacting with it. Sadly, we lost Tua Gran in April, and everybody's missing her very much. So very beautiful. I get goosebumps. Very beautiful of Belinda to do that, and it's really great that Danya's finding some comfort in the arms of the Couch Peloton. I just want to point out that amongst this beautiful hot mess map, there's climbing irregular like this route. You did Stelvio the wrong way because they're going up to Livigno, but not up Stelvio, completely downhill, and I'd still get dropped in neutral, says Bullet. It's very funny.
Yeah.
I've printed out every version that's ever come out, by the way.
Oh, they're fantastic. We've
are.
got to do a scrapbook. Beautiful,
do.
beautiful word. Yeah, that's officially
Yes.
a thing that's happening as of now. Couch Peloton,
As
love
of
your
now.
work. Beautiful tribute to Tua Gran. Some of the detail. First to Roma Pizza Party wins. I'm so about those kind of stipulations.
I am too, yes.
You know a team that would never blame the team? Couch Peloton.
Couch Peloton.
There you go. Now, the Wheelhouse. Okay, at the moment, we are very, very excited because we celebrate our wins here.
We do.
When the team does well. We're currently third in the 8 Nations Vuelta, is that right? Is that
Eight
we are in
Nations
joint
Giro,
third?
sorry,
joint
I don't
third.
know
Oh,
if
sorry,
I wrote-
Giro,
yes.
of course, Giro. Sorry.
And this is done by Mark Pryor, who's also one of the couch pelotoners.
Yeah, pelotonists.
He did a Seven Nations of Vuelta. So the premise of it is that there's 8 riders in a team, 7 for the women at the Vuelta. You can choose a rider, but only 1 per country.
Oh.
So 8 different countries, 8 different riders, can't overlap. So it's pretty hard. I would choose both Caden Groves and also Ben O'Connor if I could.
Yeah, but
But I can't.
Who'd you? Yeah.
So I actually,
Who'd you go with?
well, Merksy and I worked together
Yeah.
for the Wheelhouse.
And look, I'm going to full disclosure here. I've had nothing to do with it at this stage. That's why we're in third place.
Well, you reckon we could be in 10th, or you reckon we
I'm
could be
saying
winning?
we would be a long way further down.
I also
yes.
put in my own. But I'm not going as well. So we've got
Okay.
Biniam Gourmet from
Hang on, wait. Are you
Eritrea.
competing against the Wheelhouse?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
And I suck. Fabio Jakobsen. We've got Danny Martinez. Johnathan
Milan, very
Because
good.
I was like, come on, it's the Giro. You need an Italian called
yeah, of course
Milan.
you do. Yeah.
He got us some great points overnight. Ben O'Connor.
Yep.
Pogacar. I'm pretty sure everybody who entered put Pogacar on their list. Geraint Thomas.
Like
And
it.
then Michael Woods
Oh, you got Woodsy in
for
there.
a bit of a sneaky, stage hunter.
Sure.
Personally, I swapped a few out and I put Florian Lipovitz in and Alexei Lutsenko.
Okay.
So we'll see how we go. But this
Talk
is
about hedging your bets.
I know, totally hedging my
Yeah.
bets. This is such a hard competition to be part of. And it's unreal that Mark Pryor does it. He whips up a really great spreadsheet.
That's huge.
Love a spreadsheet.
Fantasy bikes.
It is. It's fantastic.
We can rejig if
We cannot rejig.
no rejigging. Is
No.
that why you were sighing then, Merksy? Who, who's out? Who's in? Quickly, Merksy.
Tell you what though, did you say Ben O'Connor and Geraint Thomas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I reckon Geraint needs to buy Ben O'Connor a beer because he sat on his wheel for so long that he owes him a beer.
I think
Just-
that,
yeah,
yeah,
okay.
that's fair. He said,
Yeah.
I couldn't pull a turn. I was doing it really
dear.
tough. Ben
Thanks,
O'Connor
Ben.
did all the work.
But then what happened to Ben?
He blew a fufu valve.
Spat out the back. Thanks for coming.
And Geraint
Yeah, yeah.
was like, oh, thanks, mate.
Like
he
the dregs.
Geraint Thomas, you owe Ben O'Connor a beer. At least one.
And we know that you ride every stage with beers in your backpack. Or you're
Loves a
somewhere
beer.
in the Knicks. We know it.
Yeah.
You know it's in the camelback. So
In
he's
the
got
camelback, yeah.
We know that you've got beer. We
Yeah.
know. Starting it here, Thomas Buys O'Connor a Beer campaign has just been launched and we will stay across that
I'm on it.
as well.
Yep.
Okay. Sounds like Merksy's really happy with the team.
It is what
To a
it is
certain
now.
degree.
The people who picked Eddie Dunbar, he's already out. They're not happy.
I just want to
toodles.
see if we beat you because there's this
I know.
like this Wheelhouse
I know.
versus
I have a conflict
Wheelhouse
of interest.
element going on, which is great. I really like it. Like I said, I haven't been involved yet, so that's why we're doing so well. Fantastic, great work, Kate. Let's change now. Let's change.
Yes, I've got a lovely pink sparkly top on, but just
Yes.
pretend it is red.
Let's go
It
red.
is rojo.
Yep. Have we got anything red here? No, we don't. That's okay.
Don't-
More
Red
devastation.
flags, just that.
That'll do. More demolition. Devastation for riders who were left in the wake.
Well, after Demi Vollering signed with Nike last week, there are a lot of people who said, funny timing. It hasn't been her best season. She's a bit off.
Yeah.
She went to the haters.
Of all the stupid
She
things to
flipped
say.
the bird to the haters.
Yeah. If you're not a Demi Vollering fan, the absolute worst thing you could do is tell her she sucks on the eve of a major race.
Yes.
So well done to all of you.
Well done, Demi.
Well done to her.
Well,
Yes.
I believe the team manager just said, Demi, just do it.
Just,
Her like
You
it.
like that,
Demi.
Millie? It's a dad joke. Very good.
yeah.
She's rolling her eyes.
I think Michael Jordan still makes about $300 million a year from his Air Jordans. So let's check in a few years from now and see how Demi's doing because I reckon she'll absolutely smash it in
I reckon
Europe.
she's on a
especially.
winning
Of course she
train.
will.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of rumours about her leaving the team. We know she's leaving. We don't know where to. Maybe to FDJ.
Yep.
Lots of different chats about that. But what I think she has done is ensured that she rises above all of the gossip and whatnot. That
Big time.
Yeah, I heard maybe Joko Alula. Hey.
Ooh,
Nah,
We'll ask her when
didn't
she-
really
when
just
she-
shit
Oh.
Candace
We'll-
steering.
I was
We'll
like,
ask her
I
when
didn't
she
read
comes
that,
on the
but
show.
Merksy reads
Nah.
equally as much as I do.
Okay, we'll find out. She is coming on. Hey, Merksy.
Yeah, just do it.
Wherever she ends up, I guarantee you she will make an enormous splash, which is not at all a segue to the next thing I'd love to talk about.
We're still at the Vuelta, mind you.
Yeah, for sure. Because when you got to go, you got to go. But in cycling, that is often in the middle of a race. And if you're not Mathieu van der Poel on a classic and you have the presence of mind to run off and ask to borrow a loo, you just do it on the side of the road. And now that has been formalised in a most amusing way, Kate.
Well, look, last year's Vuelta was the biggest incident.
Was that a sound effect?
I think
Sorry.
so. Mercy.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, in there. Oh,
Is that a sound effect
I don't
or
know,
did
but
you not go before we
$10
recorded?
says Millie's rolling her
Oh,
eyes
you
again.
don't want to know what I searched for that.
The last year at the Vuelta, one of the big kerfuffles was the attack through while Demi Vollering was taking a pee break.
Doing a wee, yeah.
And they were saying this is out of line. And in fairness, the other team said, no, she stopped before a big tailwind, before a big crosswind section. It's fair game.
It's part of if it's allowed, find me a team or a coach who won't push those
Spot on.
loopholes envelopes.
So we can call this Demi's zone, I think. This was almost flat out implemented for Demi Vollering.
Yeah.
You called it a splash zone. What they have said by the Riders' Union CPA, Joel, is we are... Merksy, unless you want us to pee our pants in here, you've got to stop the running water.
To go too. Thanks, Merksy.
In collaboration with the organisers, we are trying something new.
Uh-huh.
A so-called puddle zone.
A puddle zone.
This is a place where riders can stop to take a break. It's a novelty. It may still need improvement, but we're trying something.
Hang on, it's a novelty.
It's a matter of respect. I think the puddle zone, not the peeing part, just the puddle zone part.
All you're doing is drawing even more attention to the fact that riders need to stop and relieve themselves, and now it becomes a focus. Now it becomes, oh look, XX and X are having a pee.
Well,
let them have their dignity and race on.
I think it is a little bit silly, to be honest. I'm really curious about the CPA's sanity check on this because, firstly, it kind of negates attacks in and around that time. Like, when's it seen disrespectful to attack? So it kind of nullifies the first 40K of racing if you're going to do that, because that's what they're saying after about 40Ks of racing. The second thing I did, Joel, is I am blessed with a bladder of steel. In all of my racing career, I think I stopped twice, and that's only because everybody else stopped, and I thought, may as well.
But you could have just kept going.
Oh, absolutely. Could have and did most of the time. So I took a bit of a deep dive, and while we know that holding a pee in is no good, they say, Merksy.
As Merksy will attest.
Yes, he's not holding them
Guys,
in.
we're paying for these sound effects now, so I'm using them to
Oh,
get our money.
excellent.
Fair
Oh, good.
enough.
Sounds
Yeah.
like somebody needs a prostate check
yeah.
in there. 9 to 10 hours before it's dangerous
9 to 10 hours.
if you don't pee for 9 to 10 hours. Now, I am not advocating for bladder holding. That is not good.
Not good for you.
But I genuinely, and it is a bit different, I guess, as the races get a bit longer and the distance is a bit longer. But I genuinely do not understand how, if you've gone to the toilet at the start, you need to go after 40K. There's going to be a lot of people saying, are you kidding, Kate?
Well, coffee? Have you ever had 3 coffees?
I was going to say the fluids that they're consuming running through.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, is that not part of it? Like, what happens if you absorb a little bit slower, your liquid, and you need to go to the toilet at the 80K mark? Oh,
yeah,
tough
tough
toodles.
titties.
You look over your
Tough
shoulder, you see
titties.
Demi coming.
You said it,
you
Merksy.
wee
Yeah.
a little because you're
Well-
terrified.
Millie had a very good question. She said, why is it called a puddle zone?
I love
Isn't that
question.
ironic?
Thank you for asking.
Yeah.
I think that it's a bit literal.
Are they not allowed to go in the field? They have to go on the road, therefore a puddle would form?
Middle of the
I don't
road,
know. How
and then it
ridiculous.
becomes an obstacle.
What's wrong with the Portaloo?
Well, remember,
What's
Merksy,
wrong with the
that
farmhouse?
at the Glasgow Commonwealth Games, or was it Edinburgh?
I don't remember.
Anyway, I was bringing you on the journey there.
Yeah.
They had portaloos on the road race course
Okay.
because law over there, no public
No
urination.
public. Yeah.
Which is pretty common. And so they put portaloos, and it made me laugh so much. I thought if we see a single person use that portaloo, they've probably got bad guts and they're probably going to be out of the race. Like, that's a real shocker.
So we know automatically what's happening in there and it's not good.
Why not tow a portaloo behind each team car?
Ooh.
Hey?
That's an idea.
Maybe not each team car, but Pat Farmer.
I was going to say Pat Lefevre. He could sit on top of the portaloo going, pick it up.
There's a fellow by the name of Pat Farmer, one of the loveliest Australians you'll ever meet. He should be a bit of a symbol for Australia, marathon runner, endurance runner. He ran across India, the whole way across India for like Australian-Indian government relations kind of, look how wonderful we get on. He had behind him a support car with a trailer and a portaloo on it. The entire length of India.
Wow.
So it works. Shit. Well, in privacy, I suppose.
At least he got a bit of privacy.
So it wouldn't be a new idea is my point.
Okay, sure. That's really, really interesting.
It's really...
Is it
really upping the game here.
It's like I can still picture Lefevre.
G'day, Pat. Nice to see you.
The other Pat
was Mr. Modi.
Yeah, how'd that go? How'd the politicians
anyway
respond to that ridiculous effort that you put in?
They loved it. He's a national icon.
I just want to see Lefevre up on a portaloo going, I told you were going shit. I did not mean it literally. Anyway, terrible accent. Now, Kate, I'm so happy to be back. I've been away for a few weeks, and it was really nice to have a few weeks, but it's super nice to be back.
It is super nice.
See what I did there?
It's really nice.
Yeah.
It's super.
It is super.
Yeah.
It's really, really, really nice.
Well, Anya Lau at the Vuelta, we really can't finish with a shit story from there. You see what I did there?
I see what you did
Come
there.
on, you guys. Like,
Millie's
you
in
laugh
here.
at your own jokes.
The
What about mine?
swear jar.
Sorry, Mill.
Millie's not going to want to come back.
Anya Lau, she got the most combative jersey on the second last day.
Yep.
Sarah Gigante, she got top 10 on a big climb stage. Sensational.
Awesome.
Amanda Spratt, Brodie Chapman, they were both part of the winning team on stage 1. Grace Brown, a very important part of Evita Mucic's success overall. She came 4th.
Nice.
When they were interviewed, Joel, they used the most wonderful, wondrous descriptions of how they were feeling. Very emotive.
Yes.
It was not, it was really nice, and it was not, it's super nice.
Yeah.
And that is because English is their first language.
Yeah.
And they have a wardrobe of colourful adjectives that they can use. The Europeans...
They don't know much English, so they just say it was nice.
I think they need our help.
How would you help them?
Well, it's just occurred to me, the juxtaposition between the Aussies' language and how colourful and descriptive they are versus the Europeans who are speaking not their native tongue in English. And look, in fairness, we are not multilingual. What would you say if you just won a stage of the Giro and you were expected to be interviewed in Italian?
Okay. So question... Joel, there was a point in the stage today where it looked like you were down and out, but then the team got behind you and that attack came at the right time. What was going through your mind at that point? Hello, Joel is your name. 1, 2, 3. I visit Rome. Hello.
But bellissimo.
And bellissimo. And hello. and also hello.
Bellissimo.
Buongiorno.
Right?
100%.
It's pretty hard.
Joel,
And
my name is...
the fact that Matej Mohoric last year gave that incredible interview out of his native tongue.
He's raised the
in
bar.
English. He's raised the
bar.
So I'm really sorry, guys. And I'm talking to all of you. It was really nice. It was super nice. I'm really happy. I'm
Not having a
talking to you
dig
guys.
here, trying to help.
We want to help.
Yep.
I've come up with a list. Merksy, reckon that you might be able to help here too.
Cool.
4, I'm really happy, because that's what a lot of them say. How are you feeling after that win?
Yep.
I'm really happy.
Like a dog rooting a cricket ball.
Oh,
That's not on my list.
That's what we say.
Got to explain a few things to Millie now, don't I?
Yes, you really do. You're going to have an interesting talk. I was thinking I was tickled pink.
Sure. I was stoked.
Happy as Larry.
Yeah.
Happy as a pig in mud.
Happy as a pig in mud.
Yeah.
Chuffed.
Bloody rip snorter, mate.
Yeah.
There's Bonza.
Bloody rip snorter,
Bloody rip
mate.
snorter of a
I
race,
was
mate.
going off like 3-week-old milk out
I was
there today.
going off like a frog in a sock.
Yep. Yep.
All of these,
It was sick.
right? Fully sick.
It was fat.
Or fat as in pH.
pH. I love how everybody always says pH as fat as in pH.
Well, it's important to clarify.
It is important to clarify.
But what about for really nice or super nice? Like, what can we offer them, do you think?
Oh, it was a cracker.
It was a cracker?
It was an absolute ripper. Just a ripper.
Bloody awesome.
Yep.
Why is blood
out of
involved
control?
in so
I love
many,
it
by
when
the
everything's
way?
just out of control. these
Freaking
days.
awesome.
Yep. You could use an
Unreal.
abbreviation too.
Top notch? What's
Yeah.
the abbreviation?
Oh, like, it was, I can't think of one right now. It was ROTFLOL.
Oh, I
What-
think that might be one that Millie does know that needs no explaining. Smashing?
Yes.
It's maybe
It's a
something
bit
a little
English.
bit
That feels a bit
British.
It's a bit
English.
posh.
Yeah.
Smashing day out there. Yeah.
It was a cracker?
Yeah, it's a dead set cracker.
Dead set
You've got to say
cracker?
dead set before everything as well.
For the Kiwis, choice, bro?
Yeah, choice
choice,
as.
bro?
You got to say choice. Yeah,
Yeah?
choice as.
I was beached. Does that work?
No.
Beach Jez, bro? No.
No. I'm not.
Because
that I know
Lawrence
of,
Pithy,
maybe.
he's looking really good. And Kimberly Cowdsow, I mean, we've got some Kiwis that we are going to claim very shortly. Maybe they can help us with what they might say.
You can still say it was super nice, but maybe you just follow it with something like, it was super nice out there. I was just losing my shit.
I'm
then
wrapped,
all of a sudden
I'm
they go,
stoked.
Why
I'm
weren't you
having
in
a
the demi
ball.
zone? We've just been through this.
Oh, because I've been tickled pink.
Exactly.
See, perfect for the Giro. I've been tickled pink.
It was
I'm
utter
tickled pink?
choice. We used to say utter choice.
Utter choice.
It was utter choice.
He's tickled pink.
Absolutely beside
We
myself.
are all tickling each other pink. See, it could go wrong.
Happy as Larry, you said before?
Happy as
They're all
Larry.
like, who is Larry?
There you go.
Who is this Larry you keep talking
I
about?
know.
Yeah.
Look, it is our privilege to be able to help you with the English language.
Oh,
here.
we're chuffed.
We
Absolutely
are totally
stoked
chuffed.
to be able to help
Yep.
out. Yeah.
Seventh heaven.
Yeah. It's a bucket lister for
It is.
us. It's a
It is.
genuine bucket lister.
Just a bloody bonza.
It's Bonza, not the airline though.
No.
Don't book with them.
Awkward.
Now, my family has origins in far north Queensland, and there's actually a suburb up there called Spreadborough.
Is there?
It's a very small suburb, but it's named after.
Doesn't spread very far.
No, it doesn't.
It is a borough that does not.
It is 100%. They have spread it
Spread
through the
very far.
boroughs, but not much further than that. Named after the ancestors. Whatever. Most recently, closer to home in the southeast of Queensland, someone else has had a street legitimately named after them, Catherine.
That is me.
Yeah.
Yep. I have a
Wow.
street named after me. I was only made aware of this by Merksy calling me the other day, giggling because he'd seen a social media post by Sarah Carrigan, who was up there near Toowoomba in Kearney Springs taking photos of this cycling-themed
Like suburb or
suburb.
estate
well,
or something?
So estate, suburb. So if
Okay.
you go down Velodrome Drive and you turn left onto McGrory Drive, you chuck the first right onto Bates Street.
Oh, so you're off
Yeah.
Macquarie Drive.
I am. If you've gone too far, you'll hit Aiken.
Okay.
Too far again, you get to Carrigan. You've got to do a U-bolt at that point. Come back past Opperman
Yeah.
and get to Bates.
Opperman as well.
Opperman.
Is there a Cadell or an Evans? Or?
There is. There
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
There's also a McEwen.
Oh, there you
and
go.
if you ask why I'm laughing, it's because they've spelt it incorrectly.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So McEwen Drive has been spelt incorrectly. And I don't know if that's because they know Robbie and they know how much that would bother him and it's pointed, or if it's just a typo. But I've got a full list here. We've got Michael Grender, Stuart O'Grady,
Okay, yeah.
Martin Vinicum,
Great.
Mark Renshaw got a run. Bradley McGee got a run.
Fantastic.
Just saying, that is 2 from the Parramatta Cycling Club
Huge.
in this short list. Anna Mears, of course.
That's
Sean
why you moved
Eadie.
the jersey up. Yep.
There's only 3 women. So Carrigan, myself, and Anna Mears. Sadly, I've been attributed as Kathy Bates. You don't call me Kathy.
No,
I mean, have
don't
you not
ever.
seen Misery?
No, don't do it.
Anywho,
Look,
but
there's something that looks like a hammer here too.
there is also if you go off Velodrome Drive, there
Yeah.
is a Carly Hibbard Park.
Oh.
Now, Carly Hibbard was a Toowoomba cyclist who was pro and she was killed in a road accident some years ago in 2011, I believe, when she was training with the Aussie team over in Italy.
Yeah.
Or with her professional team, but as part of the Aussie outfit. And what how wonderful to have a Carly Hibbard Park.
It's awesome.
That is so
Really,
fantastic.
really lovely,
There's also a Jared and Nathan Graves, a Wade Boots and Nathan O'Neill. They all have their own because they're Toowoomba.
Streets, you mean? Like Graves and O'Neill? Yeah,
yes,
cool.
they come from the Toowoomba area.
When you said the Graves, I was like,
Oh, yeah, that was a bad segue from me, wasn't it?
No, it was fine. That was on
needed
me.
to think that one out.
I love that. Congratulations on
go.
having a street named in your honour.
I'm so chuffed. I seriously am.
You should be.
It's so cool. It's not something
yeah.
I thought I would ever have.
Yeah, we'll do a road trip.
Yeah, I mean, the fellas at when I was 15, my riding buddies at Parramatta Cycling Club did something slightly illegal. I believe the statute of limitations has now passed. They stole a road sign for me. Brian Appleyard and Matt Smithson, I think, led the charge. Kate Street.
And you're just like,
so I have that. I still have it.
So we could head up there with a hacksaw and get the baits. No,
we could
No,
have
but
Kate
what we
Bates.
could do
That's a
is
joke.
we
We
could
would
take
not do that, or nor do we endorse such behaviour.
we could
Yes.
take the Kate up and hold it above.
Yes, and take a photo.
And
Just take a photo and not damage public. Yeah,
we could have an OB from, but we're trying to figure out who is responsible.
Yeah.
We haven't gotten there yet, but when we track them down, we'll see who's next on the list.
We'll get to the bottom of it.
Yeah,
And
there's
I will
currently
also-
17 houses on Bates Street.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's
We've
about
put
the
down a deposit
population
on
of
number one.
Spreadborough in Mount Isa too.
there you go.
So yeah, that's some real symmetry there.
Yeah.
That's really, really cool. Hopefully we can see that precinct expand and recognise a few more of our female champions over the years and currently as well. But
yes.
I think a pretty good start.
Very good start.
Has it got a Merksey Street and not as in the other Merksey, as in our
Merksey,
Yeah.
I think that should be on the short
I'm
list.
surprised they don't.
Just quietly. Before we go,
Yes.
you have been interchanged a few times. You've had a few people keeping your seat warm.
Yeah, absolutely.
One of the people who hasn't been doing that is Hank Vogels.
No, he's been busy.
Because he's overseas.
He's OS.
He's disappeared.
Yeah.
He's abandoned us.
Yeah.
The middle seat is missing.
Let's pretend he's here.
Pretend he's here.
Hey, Hank.
Hello. His team's been doing really well. Lucinda Stewart, she had a victory a couple of weeks ago. But on the weekend, Declan Trezise, just big shout out here, won at Ronde van Overijssel. Pretty big deal. So really kudos to the whole team and to Hank and to all the riders. They're obviously doing a very good job over
Is he
there.
a Queenslander?
He is.
I think he is.
Boom.
He is, yes. The Queensland peeps.
Yeah, great.
They're all excited.
Never a hint of Queensland bias on this show because you always keep us in
Well,
check.
Yes. I mean, there's no Parramatta, Queensland.
Credit where it's due.
Yep.
Go the Mighty Maroons. Love it to see. He'll be back. I'm sure as soon as he's back, he'll come in and tell us everything.
Hendrickis will be back when he can. We tried to get him on, but he's had a small accident with his AirPods.
That happens.
Not with him. He's good.
He's okay.
His AirPods are not good.
That's the most important
They're
thing.
getting replaced.
Well, Declan, have a couple over ice all to celebrate your incredible win. Kate, thank you very much. All the news and views of the Giro not happening
I'm just
here, but
tickled pink with how this show's gone.
absolutely chuffed.
Yeah, bloody bonza,
stoked.
bloody ripper. So stoked.
Yep.
Over the moon.
Oh, mate, we
is how I
smashed
would
it.
describe.
We smashed it like a dropped crab.
It was bloody
Absolutely
awesome.
did. Yep.
Not a smash pie. So that's something different.
That's what you used to say with disparagingly to say they had a face
Don't
or
ever
something.
say that.
Terrible thing
I
to say.
love a pie.
Oh,
And you know what happens when it gets in my belly? It's all smashed up.
Yeah. You need to go to the Demi Zone,
Yep.
or also known as the wee station.
No, the puddle zone.
Puddle Zone.
Splash zone.
The relief zone. Anyway, see you next time. We talked through the play-out music.
We did.
Millie, that's how you don't make a show.